Hi, Misha here, and it's just a little before noon, meaning the mail just ran here, meaning issue 16, Eaglemoss's official collection of models from Battlestar Galactica, both the original and remastered series, but strangely enough, not 1980 yet, so I guess we'll know they're getting desperate if they start doing something for 1980, right? Of diecast models, issue 16 is not one I was super looking forward to. And in one aspect, I'm actually pleasantly surprised. And in another, I'm potentially quite disappointed. This is the Cylon Raider Skaar. Now we've already had the standard Raider here, which was actually issue 2, so extremely early. This is a very large model. And both of these are pretty heavy duty. Now one thing I was concerned about, and nearly didn't order Skaar, I thought they would just do a repaint of the original model using the same sculpt. Therefore, to me, who's blind, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. I'm happy to report this is not the case. All of the kind of wear marks, scarring, literally, like where it's puckered, is a new sculpt. And I can feel it. It's got it even has a little more detail around the head area in general than the original one here. My dusty original one. I'm about to relocate my BSG ships to a different shelf, so I'll dust them then. So that makes me happy that they made enough changes that I will be easily able to tell the difference. Another good change, if you look at my older videos, I complain about the stand, how it kind of cradles in the head. If it's a little loose, they have ever so slightly tweaked it with this, kind of adding a little more patterning to it for a tighter fit. So at first impressions, I was very happy. But it only took me a couple of minutes to realize something was a little off. Looking at this one, 1, 2, 3 engines to match the colonial ships. Looking at this one, 1 engine and 2 voids. First off, I can tell you for sure this is not a damaged model. This is how it was intended. I think the only other video up right this minute is from Trek Collector, and his has this too, according to the comments. And I pulled out the foam it came in and tried putting the original with 3 engines in the foam, and it won't go. There's a cutout for the 1 engine, but not for the 2. It actually swoops in here. On its box, this is cut out further for the engines. So this is how the foam was cut, meaning this is how the model of Skaar was designed. Now I could say that maybe Skaar from the episode only had 1 engine. But there's 2 problems with that. 1, this is a standard Raider. And 2, when you flip it over, I don't know if I'll be able to show you on camera, but under here there are intakes. Kind of scooped in now because of the way it angles, but there are still intakes under, like on this one. like where they would scoop in, well, it wouldn't really be air because it's space, but I guess in an atmosphere. So you would think if it only had one engine, it would have one intake. So, this seems to be a case of Eaglemoss making an oversight in the way they designed the model, or in the 3D models they were presented from the studio. I am not sure which. But it's not a case of a one-off mine, because there's at least one other out there, and presumably the others are that way too, since the foam is not cut for 3 engines, just one. Eaglemoss has been upping the number of Battlestar Galactica models lately. We pretty quickly jumped from getting about one every 6 to 8 weeks to one about every 4 to 5 weeks, which delights the hell out of me. And of course, this whole coronavirus COVID-19 situation, I'm sure, has made things a bit more difficult. The fact that they're still shipping stuff at all is actually pretty neat. I also find it funny, and this happens occasionally in my life. Now granted, you guys see I don't, so a lot of times you notice things that I can't, like framing models. But once in a while in my life, I'll meet sighted people, multiple of them sometimes, that'll look at something, not notice a glaring omission like this, but something that I will notice immediately because of the feel of it. One example that comes to my mind, about 10 years ago, I purchased a Luger off of the internet. It was a Vopo, so East German Police, reissue refurbished Luger, and the seller, very nice man, went over all the markings, even talked about the markings on the grips, the markings on the magazine, everything great like that. Sounded great. I got the gun in, picked it up, it was great, but something didn't feel right. And about a second later, it hit on me. The rear sight was gone. Someone had completely just removed, like, very neatly machined. It wasn't like it was broken off, like it had been broken. No, it was machined off and blued over. So who knows what someone was doing. Maybe they were trying to do like a clone of artillery or naval and gave up. So I called the guy and I said, the gun is exactly as you told me, but it's missing the rear sight. And he said he had that gun for a couple of years and never noticed. And he was sincere. I believe him. And the fact is, he took it back and paid the fees. Why would he lie? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. I think it's just he was so focused on the markings and focusing on the details of the Luger, he missed that it was having something major missing. But me, the way I deal with things, I kind of start big and work myself into details. So TLDR, Eaglemoss should just hire me to do their quality control. Not paint. No. But sculpt. I could do a good job of sculpt. Just to give a little context for anyone who might not know, Skaar is a special raider from Battlestar Galactica. Officially, it was in Season 2, but I like to think that it was also the raider that Kara Thrace lobotomized in Season 1 when she basically mind-fucked it, literally, by getting inside its head and piloting it like a puppet, and then flying it around for a while later. Well, that raider was resurrected, as raiders are, just like other Cylons. And it was resurrected and shot down, and resurrected and shot down, and became an ace. That was the benefit of raiders, especially as the series went on. At the beginning of Season 1, they did not have many skilled raiders. They were young creatures, and the raider is a biomechanical animal analogous to like a dog. But by Season 2, the episode Skaar, mid-season, they were starting to get some raiders that had enough experience that they were really going after cloning of pilots, especially young rookies known as nugget pilots. And Skaar was particularly tricky and had killed a lot of humans who do not resurrect, in case you didn't know. So the whole episode was about who Skaar had killed and about Kara's vendetta against it and its presumable vendetta against her, and about her training a new rookie pilot who ended up being a potential new, kind of younger Starbuck. And it's a good story because the pilot who ended up killing Skaar and being a good pilot is a recovering drug addict and other criminal. And it just kind of, it's that nice blend of disparity and hope and humor and everything else that Battlestar Galactica did so well. I think some modern series are going too far in the other direction. Too much soap opera drama, not enough levity and humor and camaraderie. But BSG, more often than not, really hit that sweet spot. And Skaar, a good episode. And therefore, this was a neat model. And I am, again, very happy that they went to the trouble of a new sculpt, because it's got some interesting patterning that I look forward to feeling up later on today. Really tattered on this wing here and showing just a lot of been there, done that. And the reason that when Cat destroyed, that was the young pilot, Skaar didn't resurrect. They were too far. They were operating very far afield, too far from a resurrection ship. So it was presumably dead forever. So if you want kind of a battle-weary raider, you can get Skaar, if you don't mind only one engine. And they still make issue 2, the standard raider. It'll be interesting to see what the response is about the whole engine situation. So, yeah, I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And, yeah, as always, kind of do the Battlestar Galactica thing, because this is kind of becoming my favorite thing from Eaglemoss. And speaking of favorite things, as I said a couple of issues ago, 2 models that I wanted them to make. The Mark III, which they've done now, and the Battlestar Valkyrie, which is presumably coming up next, although again with Corona, COVID-19, I'll give them quite a lead time. It's not their fault, but I will be eagerly awaiting that ship notice. With that said, I appreciate you tuning in, and I hope I got something on camera frame for you. This is Misha, and I will catch you very soon next time.